Around 10 years ago, someone called Satoshi Nakamoto, it might be someone or something or collective of people, decided that in the last couple of centuries, governments were always monopolizing money. And that you often caused inflation, hyperinflation, funding of wars, and people actually not really having control over money because there was always politicians and regulators having this control and abusing that control. So one hacker or a couple of hackers or internet aficionados developed Bitcoin, which is a decentralized currency based on the blockchain technology, which is a decentralized way of storing data. Now, Bitcoin was the first time this blockchain technology had been developed and used. So now blockchain technology is a total change in paradigms on how we store and manipulate data. I brought something to hopefully illustrate a bit what a blockchain is. So this is a block, actually a very large Lego block. And imagine this block is a piece of information. For instance, it could be your key to your office. So you want to walk to your office and you have a piece of information which says only Steve can open the door to Steve's office. Now imagine you have an electric fob with the information that gets you into your office. In blockchain technology, you would basically have an access code which would tell the system that you have access. So let's say the access code to your office are the colors green and red. And you have the key with the colors green and red. So the moment you swipe your fob would actually send the color combination green and red to the server, and they would match and the door opens. So this is in the case of a very traditional system. That's not blockchain yet. Problem is, in this traditional system, someone could hack into your computer and suddenly say the color combination is not red and green anymore, what your key says, but someone could change the color combination to a key someone else has. Now, what is different with blockchain is that we don't just have one server which stores the information of green and red, but many, many servers who store the same information. So we don't have just one server or two servers, but dozens of servers, an entire network of servers. So when you swipe your fob, which is red and green, many servers have first to verify that this is your key and you have the right access code. It definitely takes longer than with the current system, but it's much safer. And it's technically impossible for a hacker to hack into all of these different decentralized servers and change that access information. That's why especially blockchain technology is very interesting when we talk about banking, but also very confidential information which should not be changed. For instance, in accounting, land registries, all sorts of contracts we really don't want to get changed are very, very safe if we store them in blockchain. Currently, blockchain is unhackable because of the complexity of servers. The amount of servers and redundant data strings we have in the blockchain prevents hackers to manipulate all these different servers at the same time. Theoretically, it would be possible to hack blockchain if we would have quantum computers, which we don't have yet. With progressing technology, the complexity of blockchains can also grow, and therefore we should always be ahead in terms of safety. Blockchain allows us to bring much more trust into transactions. Where we often right now go to notaries or very trusted banks or very trusted jurisdictions, for instance, starting a company in Switzerland or in the United Kingdom or in the United States because we really trust their judicial system, blockchain allows us to bring in a lot of trust in peer-to-peer transactions. If we send money through blockchains, which is not subject to any central bank regulation, but it would just take as long as sending an email to send my 10 pounds in Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency. In a couple of decades, the traditional bank transfer will also phase out. Probably the last thing we have to use actually a traditional bank transfer or even a check for is the tax bill. There are two ways how current financial institutions such as credit card companies or banks can react to this. Either they're going to spend millions and hundreds of millions of dollars in lobbying to outlaw blockchain systems, or they use that money more wisely to actually innovate with these new technologies. It is very similar to initial public offering you would have on the stock market exchange. It just comes with much less fees involved because you don't have all these intermediaries such as stock market exchanges, lawyers, accountants, auditors involved. So while an initial public offering in Europe, for instance, costs around 6% of the total amount you raise, initial coin offering just costs a couple of $1,000s. You basically just have to set up the technology and incorporate a company, and then you can raise the money. So I would call initial coin offering the democratization of initial public offerings. You find many black sheep and scams in this entire system, and you have to be very careful where you put your money in. Fortunately, there are a lot of private exchanges, crypto exchanges, which are very good self-regulators, because not every new initial coin offering is immediately listed at a crypto exchange. You need to qualify, you really need to show that you have some sort of sustainable business model and that you don't just raise the money and run away with it.